Good evening to all of you. සියලු දෙනාටම සුබ සන්ධ්‍යාවක්. අපි සාකච්ඡා කරමින් ඉන්නේ පසු විභාග ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍ර. We discussed the previous exam papers. The last time we complete the first question subject to the one part. Remember that convert as a dual form. Still I am not explained the answer. If you want, I can continue that one, or either we can go to this another question, same type question. I saw that every paper we have the same question. It's not difficult. The 20 marks you can just get it so easy. What about you prefer that after discuss another 2-3 questions, then we can go to the dual part, because I need to explain the theory of the how to convert as a dual. මෙතනදී අපිට ඕනනම් ඒ වගේ තවත් ප්‍රශ්න පත්‍ර කීපයක පළවෙනි question එකට answer කරලා අපිට dual convert එකට යන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද dual convert එකේ අපි theory චුට්ටක් සාකච්ඡා කරන්න ඕන. එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒක එකපාරට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. What about your idea that which one you prefer? මොකද කැමති? question තව මේ වගේම එකක් දෙකක් කරලා අපි dual එකට ගියොත් හොඳයි කියලා මම හිතනවා. එතකොට ඔයාලට එන paper එකේ first question එකට කිසිදු ප්‍රශ්නයකින් නැතුව answer කරන්න පුළුවන්. It's not difficult. Model formulation and simplex method.
ඔව් සර් එහෙම හොඳයි නේද?
හරි. paper get question එක. ඔව් අපිට පුළුවන් මේක මම open කරලා තියෙන්නේ 2021. අපි මෙතනින් ඉඳන් සාකච්ඡා කරා යමු නේද? ඊට පස්සේ 22 right. මේක අපි කලින් නෑ. අපි කලින් කරේ මොකද්ද? අවුරුද්ද which year that we complete. I'm not remember that. Let's see that. Do you remember that which paper we completed? I mean first question. Ah 22 අපි කරලා තියෙනවා. right. හොඳයි. දැන් ඒක අර dual convert එක අපි ඉස්සරහට theory චුට්ටක් තියෙන මේකත් කරලා අපි ඉතින් සාකච්ඡා කරමු. ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි මේකේ බලමු මූලික ටික සාකච්ඡා කරන්න. ලකුණු දෙකක් තමයි මම හිතන්නේ, දෙකක් හෝ හතරක් තමයි අපිට මිස් උනේ ටෙස්ට් 22 වල. අපි ඒකට එනවා ඉස්සරහට. මොකද චුට්ටක් theory තියෙන නිසා මම හිතනවා paper එක පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරලා අපි සාකච්ඡා කරමු. right. Let's go to that question number 1, 2021. We complete the 22 first question subject to the dual. Question number 1, 2021. A farmer has 1,000 purchase of land in which he can grow on millet or cowpea. Each piece of the corn costs 100 rupees. For preparation requires 7 man days of work and yields profit 30 rupees. A piece of the millet cost 124. Preparations requires 10 man days of work and yields a profit 4 rupees. A piece cowpea cost 7 rupees per preparation, 4 preparations. Required 8 man days of work and yields profit 20. The farmer has 100,000 for preparation and can count on 8,000 man days work. First question, formulate linear programming model for the above problem. Use x1, x2 and x3 for the corn, millet and the cowpea respectively. ඉතින් අපිට මේක කියන්නේ farmer කෙනෙක් purchase 1000ක් තුල land එකක වගා කරන භෝගතුනක් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒ භෝගතුන්ට අදාළ each purchase එක කරන cost එක දීලා තියෙනවා 100 rupees. ළඟට ඒ භෝගයට අදාළ පැය 7ක් මිනිස්සුම දින 7ක් යනවා කියලා තියෙනවා. ඒකේ profit එක 30 rupees කියලා කියනවා. right? yield එකේ ඊළඟට මිලට් කෙනකේ 120යි man hours 10යි man days දින 10යි profit එක 40යි. ඊළඟ කව්පිය වල 70යි cost එක requires 8 man days means දින 18ක් ඕන කියලා කියනවා. yields profit එක 20. The farmer has 100,000 for preparation land. ඒ සකස් කරන්න එයාට තියෙන්නේ ලක්ෂයයි. And can count on the 8,000 man days work. तर අපිට කියලා තියෙන්නේ man formulate linear programming model for the above problem using x1, x2 and x3. ඒ තීරණ විචලන තුනක් විදිහට x1, x2, 3 ගන්න කියන. The preparation the first simplex table පළවෙනි සරල වගු ගොඩ ගන්න කියනවා find the pivot element. pivot element එක හොයනකොට pivot column එකයි pivot row එකයි හොයුවට පස්සේ we can identify the pivot element, right? The final simplex tab for the above problem is given below. මේකේදී අපි dual එක අහන්න නැහැ. කමක් නෑ අපි 22 second 22 එක paper එකට අපි යමු. පස්සේ ඒකේ dual එක කරලා ගියම කියන්න. Here that final table given and ask some question. මේකේ අහනවා නේද? Yes. Conduct the dual form. මේකේ තියෙනවා. හොඳයි ඒක දෙකම තියෙන එක හොඳයි එකම question එක අපි ඒක බලමු. Right. First, we should develop the linear programming model. I'm sure everybody you have possible to make the model because we did a lot of examples under the model formulation. Right. Based on that particular knowledge or experience, if you know early the lectures I explained, I'm sure this one is so easy. Just nothing to develop the model because already given the number of decisions variable also. අපි සාකච්ඡා කරපු model formulation ගණන් මම හිතන්නේ අපි 12ක් විතර හැදුවා. ඒවා ඉතාමත් හොඳ ගණන් ටිකක් ඉතින් මූලික කරුණු තිබුණ නැත්තර. නමුත් ඒවත් එක්ක බලද්දි මේක සරලයි. ඒ ඔබට දැනුවත් එක්ක ඉතාමත් ලේසියෙන් you can make the model get the 5 marks. First we should define the decision variable. කොහොම define කරන්න? Right? x1, x2 and x3. තීරණය කරන්න ඕන මොකක්ද? Can you define yourself? Much better that you can just send me the answers, right? Don't depend on every time others, right? You should have a possibility to make the answer yourself. You can chat with me. Balance object define the 11 decisions variable. 3 decisions variable is correct. මේකේ තියෙන විචලන තුනක් තියෙන එක හැමෝටම දැනගන්න පුළුවන්. Use x1, x2 and x3. මොකක්ද අපි තීරණය කරන්න ඕනේ? Can you send me the decisions variable? What is the meaning of the x1, x2 and x3?
Cost, mandates and profit.
Sorry? Cost?
Mandates and profit.
Cost. No, decision variable. How can define? Make up define කරන්න කොහොමද x1, x2, x3 කියලා? Cost එක අපි define කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ දීලා තියෙනවනේ. Yes, number of corn කියලා වල තියෙනවා x1. වෙනත් කාටද කියන්න පුළුවන්? Anybody? How we are going to define the decisions variable? If you read the questions, then you can see that last one, just see the find the range within which the production of the corn can be. Yeah, we should design the production of corn, production of the millet, and also production of cowpea. Right? Then the profit is depend on the quantity. The profit, unit profit is given, yield profit, 30 rupees likewise is given. Then we should identify the production amount. Okay, then we can define the three decisions variable. I think one is to just chat with me that mention number of corns to be produced. Right? I'll use the whiteboard. The x1 equal likewise, you can say that x2 and x3. Just take the which product. What is the objective function? Straightforward, difficult to identify that, better to use that given final table. Part make product final table you can get idea, because this final simplex table is mentioned about the three decisions variable and three slack variable. I'm sure 100% there are three constraints, right? That's the reason three slack variable. All the constraint types should be the less than equal. If you have a good knowledge about the simplex method, using the final table, we have possibility to say something about the model. Right? So මෙතනදී අපිට final table එකකින් යම් අදහසක් ඇති කරගත හැකි. මේකේ objective එක මොකක්ද? Maximize or minimize. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ objective එකේ මොකක්ද යාලා maximize කරන්න යන්නේ? ඒ වගේ how many constraints available? අපිට model එක develop කරන්න ඉතින් it's a final table එක තියෙනකොට හරි lazy. ඉතින් ඒක නැතත් මේ ගාන හදන්න පුළුවන්. We can develop the model, but you can get the 100% perfect answer without any doubt considering the given final table. My yojana karana the final table එක මත හැමතිස්සෙම depend වෙන්න එපා. You should have possible to develop the model actually based on the given information. අපිට දීලා තියෙන තොරතුරු මත model එක develop කරගන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට ඒ හැකියාව තියෙන්න ඕන. නමුත් ඉතින් අපි එච්චර අමාරුවෙන් නගලන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. කෙලින්ම ගානේ අපේක්ෂා කරන අන්තිමේම උත්තරෙම ගොඩනගන්න පුළුවන්. Final table එක මේ හැම ගානකම format එකේ මම දැක්ක දීලා තියෙනවා the final table. Then based on that, you should take the decision. What's the objective? I need your support. Let me know that quickly. Yes. Objective is profit maximize. Then we can develop the objective function 30, 40, and 20. Let's see the final table in top of the each variable column. You can see that maximize. Is equal unit profit is given 20, 30, 40. Oh, what is that? Yes, 20, 40, 20. No? 30, 20, 40. 30, 20, 40. Sorry. 30 x1 plus then you can say subject to yatattva then what are the constraints? Please let me know the constraints. You can develop yourself. Read the question. If you don't have the question, just take the image using your hand phone. Then easy to read the question. That's the question number 1. Just you can take the image, the given information. What's the first constraint that we can develop? First constraint. Please let me know the first constraint. Why are you silent? If you don't know, please let me know. If you don't know that, without wasting time, I can make, but I think that's so easy to develop the constraints. The farmer has 1,000 purchase of land to which he can grow corn, millet, and the cowpea. Each plot of corn cost is 100. And the man hours also given that. Think about that. Assume that sometimes your constraint somewhat the sequence is different. Don't worry, right? Here, that's one of the constraint. I think this answer correct. 100x1 plus 100x2 plus 70x3 less than equal to 100,000 preparation cost. Right. Okay, let's write down that one. This question get 100. Preparation cost 120 and 70. The total availability allocate amount from the budget 100,000. 120, sorry, 100, 120 and 70.
Seven.
Okay, then we can say that 100x1 plus 120x2 plus 70x3 should be less than equal because its availability 100,000. How we are going to name this constraint budget constraint. This you can mention, right? Budget constraint. Right. The second one.
7x1 plus 10x2 plus 8x3 less than or equal 8,000.
Okay. Is a man hours constraint. That's good. 7x1 plus 10x2 plus 8x3 less than equal 8,000. We can develop the second constraint. Seven x1 plus 10x2 plus 8x3. Less than equal 8,000. Actually, it's remaining another constraint. Sometimes you have problem. How can I identify the 3 constraints? I mentioned early, right? In your final table, you can see there are 3 slack variables. Normally, when you're going to convert the less than equal type constraint as a simplex model, we should add the slack variable. अब सामान्यයෙන් ඒකජ ප්‍රකමන ආකෘතිය සම්මත සරලාක්‍රමයේ ආකෘතියක් බවට පරිවර්තනය කරනකොට අපි අඩු හෝ සමාන සංරෝධක සඳහා අතිරේක විචල්‍යයක් ගලපනවා. ඒ විචල්‍ය අපි හඳුන්වන්නේ සිතිල විචල්‍යයක් විදිහට. slack එතකොට එවැනි variables වල තියෙනවා table එකේ දකින්න පුළුවන් තුනක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අනිවාර්යෙන් constant තුනක් කියන එකට අපිට එකඟ වෙන්න වෙනවා. What is the next band question we have? Here there are 3 slack variables. Very good that the available lands acres actually purchase the 1000 purchase, that the another constraint x1 plus x2 plus x3 should be less than equal 1000. That's good. Okay, I think now you have ability to develop that. Should be you have, I'm sure, because that we already complete that lot of example for the model formulation. If you are present at previous lectures, I know that we did more than this type of the question, that somewhat difficult questions. Then 1000. We call the available land, so this land constraint. Right. Don't worry about the sequence. Sometimes the given answer constraint, the sequence, maybe S1, S2, somewhat different. Don't worry, right? However, yeah, you can get the constraint likewise, then we can get the same answer. Then finally, we should develop the non-negative constraint. Everybody know x1, comma x2, comma x3 greater than or equal 0. Better to add the non-negative constraints also, because you can't get the 5 marks without this one. Right, now we complete the model. Now everybody can get the 5 marks if you can make the answer likewise. Let's go to the second question. The second question asks, prepare the first simplex table. If you want to make the first simplex table, actually they allocated 2 marks only because it's not difficult tasks, right? I think at least 1 mark also is important. Then you sometimes you thought that 2 marks no, is nothing, but don't think like that. Without make the answer for the part B, you can't get the answer for the part C also, right? Therefore, we should know how to make the simplex table, that prepare the first simplex table. Actually, we call this another term, initial solution. Normally, first table, or we can say the initial solution. You remember that algorithm. First start, develop the LP model, convert the model as a simplex model, then we develop the initial solution, means first table. Now I like to develop simplex model. You need to write down the step, simplex model. The simplex model means that given LP model, we need to convert as a simplex model. When you're going to convert as simplex model, as it is, you can take the objective function, maximize z equal 30x1 plus 40x2 plus 20x3. Then rest of the part we can do the later, right? It's not complete yet. We need to continue the objective function, keep that one, and go to the constraints. Before that, you can say the subject to then first constraint 100x1, sorry, plus 120, 120 x2 plus 70 x3. Now you can't say the less than equal. We're not going to convert as a simplex model. For the less than equal type constraint, we should add the slack variable plus we should add slack variable. We use S1. Then you can say equal right hand side value 100,000. අපි සම්මතාකාරී පරිවර්තනය කරනකොට අඩු හෝ සමාන සංරෝධකයකට අපි කරන්නේ සිතිල විචලනයක් එකතු කරනවා. යන S1 කියලා තමයි අපි ගන්න. දෙවෙනි constraint එකට අපි යමු. Then 7x1 second constraint.
Sir, excuse
plus,
me.
Yeah.
Can't see the board.
Sorry?
Sir, Lienic pain as well.
Fine. Now can see?
Sir, යට හරිය ටික පේන්නේ.
Okay, sure. දැන් පේනවද? මම මේ පැත්තට ගත්තා.
ඔව් දැන් හරි sir.
Alright. හරි මම මෙතන හදන්න එහෙනම් ඊළඟට අපි කමක් නැහැ. එතකොට 10x2 plus same, actually that not change, only that we should add the additional variable, right? x3 atai x3, then don't say the equal. Now you can add the another slack variable s2. The first one we took the s1, should add the s2, then equal 8,000. Then we nam karana අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Already we given the name. Last constraint x1 plus x2 plus x3. එතනත් අපි less than equal type නිසා plus slack 1 එකක් අපි sorry slack 3. Already we took the 1 2 no. Then equal 1000. මම හිතන්නේ මෙතනත් වඩාත් හොඳයි අපි මේ constraints develop කරනකොට right hand side එක පිළට ගේනවා නම් the x1 x2 එක පෙළින් තියෙනවා යම් ප්‍රමාණයකට හෝ much better, right? පොඩි gap එකක් තියලා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් කමක් නැහැ, right? At least. Okay, finally we should develop the non-negative constraint without changing anything, right? We can say the x1 comma x2 comma x3, and you know that we should consider that slack variables also s1 comma s2 comma x3. එතන අපි change කරන්න නැහැ greater than equal 0. ඒ නිසා අපි එතන අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ගන්නේ අඩු හෝ සමාන. ඒක මම කිව්වේ without changing කියලා, right? But you need to adjust the slack variable. It's still not completed. අපි තාම ඉවර නැහැ. මොකද මෙතන අපි ගත්ත මම මෙතනින් පස්සේ ගෙලින්ම ඒක උඩට අරන් ගියා. So you can't see that. Then objective function එකට අපි adjustment කරන්න වෙනවා. මොකද adjustment එක මේ ගත්ත slack variables ටික අපි මේකට add කරන්න ඕන. add කරනකොට without changing the z value. මේ z වලට ඇතිවන බලපෑම අවම විදිහට තමයි අපි ගන්න. ඒ නිසා ගන්න 0 coefficient එකක් එක්ක. බිඳු සංගුණකයක් එක්ක, ශූන්‍යයක් එක්ක. 0s1 0s2 බිඳුවත් එක්ක ගන්නකොට is not affect to the objective function. 0x3. හැමතිස්සෙම ගන්නේ ශූන්‍යයක් එක්ක, then is not affect to the objective function is set. Now we complete. Right? Now we complete the simplex model. Now we should develop the first table. I'll let me make the answer here. I think it's space enough. Right? when I'm going to make the simplex table or plus table, basically we have 3 columns. Just we need to write down the variable or either figures only. First 3 column. Somewhat space is not enough, but anyway, I don't like to use another new page because that that model is not available. Then we should first we should have 3 columns, and rest of the number of columns depend on the number of variables in our model. Actually, we have 6 variable, 3 distance variable plus 3 slack variable. Then get the 3 columns for the distance variable and get the 3 columns for the slack variable. Altogether, 9 columns required. Right? Then we can just name. The problem is somewhat that space not enough. Say that again. First we can say the CJ value. Right? Here. CJ. CJ, contribution of the objective function. And also here we can say the CB, contribution of the basic variable. Right? පහලින් තමයි ටික ලියන්නේ මේ CJ කියන උඩින් ලියන්නේ. ඒතකොට අපි මේක නම් කරන්නේ basic column එක. BASIC මම කෙටියෙන් B විතරක් දාන්නම් BA basic ඉදමදි නිසා ඊළඟ නම් කරන්නේ solution. You can write the correct term, right? Solution. විසඳුම් තීරුව. Basic BASI S කියන්නත් පුළුවන් BASIC කියන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඊළඟට solution column එක. ඊට පස්සේ තමයි අපි ගන්න variables column වලට යන්නේ. Sorry. Variable columns. මේක අපි නම් කරන්නේ x1 decision variable එක. මේක නම් කරන්නේ x2 decision variable එක විතර. මේක නම් කරන්නේ x3 decision variable එක විතර. මේක නම් කරන්නේ slack1 ඊළඟ එක slack2 slack3 ඔය heading එකට තමයි චුට්ටයිද මදි වෙන්නේ. නැත්නම් පස්සේ යන්නේ ඔයාලට basic කියන එක ලියා ගන්න පුළුවන්, solution කියන එකත් ලියා ගන්න. Then CJ value we can write down first. Take the CJ value from the objective function. අපි මේ CJ values ගන්න පුළුවන් objective function එකෙන්. Right, objective function එකට ගියොත් පාට පුළුවන් CJ values ටික ගන්න. මේ තියෙන objective functions වල CJ value 30, then 40, x2, x3 20, slack1 0, slack2 0, slack3 also 0. They write down that figures. Here the x1, the objective function coefficient is 30. Top of the particular column, we can write the figures. Then x2, 40. Sorry, 40. Then x3, 20. Slack1, 0. Slack2, 0. Slack3 also 0. Likewise, first you should write down the objective function coefficient. The question asked to develop the first table. I think much better you can say top of this one. First tab or either table. Remember, we can use another term, initial solution. This alternative term, right? Better to remember that one. Question asked to develop the first table or the initial solution, right? Now, you need to enter all the constraints separately. First, you can take the first constraint, Now, according to graphical method, we should assume we are in the point of origin. I have drawn a small two-dimensional graph here, right? When I'm going to compare the graphical method, now we are in the point of origin. You know that point of origin, that's a theory behind that actually. Sometimes you have problem how can get these figures. Sorry, point of origin. The point of origin both, now we are in this point of origin, both x1, x2 values are the 0. And here there are 3 variables, don't worry. Assume x2 and x3 all values are the 0. S1 remaining 100,000. If the variable have a values, we call the basic variable. If the variable have a 0 value, we call the non-basic variable. Now the basis column, we should identify the basic variable. The first table, how we are going to identify the basic variable, we assume all the decision variable values are 0. The S1 remaining 100,000. Then you can say the basis column S1. The solution value should be 100,000. And then තමයි අපිට ප්‍රශ්නේ ඉඩ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා දාන්නම් 1000 කියන එකට මම t වත් දාන්න නේද නැත්තම් ඒක ඔයාලා ලියාගන්න ඉඩ මදි අපිට මේ ලක්ෂණ ටික ඔක්කොම ලියන්න 100,000 වෙන්න ඕන. Just I put the 1t or no need 1t the ht, right? 100,000, much better. Please you can write down the correct figure, the 100,000. එතන එන්න ඕන මෙන්න මේ සමානයි කියලා 100,000 කියන figure එක එන්න ඕන. මේක තමයි මම use කරේ symbol එක. මම එතන දාන්න ඒකට හරිනේ. 100,000 ht කියලා දැම්මේ. මගේ ඉඩ මදි නිසා. CB value එක ගන්න S1 වල CB කියන්නේ contribution of basic variable. Contribution එක දායකය. අපි ගන්න objective function එකේ බලන්න මෙතන S1 වලට කලින් තියෙන 0. එහෙම නැත්නම් මෙතන top of the each variable column එකේ තියෙන CJ එකම තමයි එතනට එන්නේ. එයාගේ ශූන්‍යය බිඳුවක්. ඒක CB value එක. එතන පළවෙනි constraints එකේ we already include the addition basic variable S1 because x1, x2, x3 become the 0. S1 have a value. The value should go to the solution column 100,000. And the left hand side, you can see the variable. In front of each variable have a value. Then write down the S1, the value is 7. The x2 value is 10. Then x3 first constraint. Sorry, we did wrong. No, that first constraint should be the value is 100. Should be the 100 S1. Now problem is space actually. Second one is 120. 120. Somewhat you can manage. No? Then third one 70. Right, you don't have the, sorry, you have the S1, should be the 1. You don't have the first constraint, S2 and S3, let's put the 0. Nathi ekata 0 da. Now you already enter the first constraint figures. Right? Likewise, go to the second one. Automatically S2 become the basic. You can say the S2 is become the variable, the basic variable. Then right hand side value 8,000. 8,000. Here that figure, I don't have enough space that like 8,000. That's 8,000. Second constraint. This I put as 8,000 symbol. But don't say the symbol in your answer, right? It should be the 8,000 there. Then consider the constraint right hand side value. Before that, you can just say the CB value. You already know the CB value 0. S2 CB, how to get it? from the objective function, y the top of the each variable column, the simplex table, you can see the 0 contribution. Then x1 left hand side figures, second constraint 7.
7.
Then we have 10. We have the 8. Then you can't see the S1, put the 0, but you can see the S2 should be 1. And the last one also 0. Right? Likewise, you can go to the third constraints. Again, that S3 become the basic. Same procedure now. So we see it's no difficult tasks. S3, then right hand side value is 1000. Yes, I put the space enough. Yes, you can write down 1000, right? Here, 1000 figure should be in the solution columns. I put the T as a symbol. Then we can consider about the constraint left hand side figures 1, because in front of the x1 1, x2 1, x3 1, but you can't see the s1 should be the 0. You can't see the x2 should be the 0, but you can see slack 3 should be 1. Right? I'll explain one of the another important thing that maybe we can't see any question, but you can get some idea. Any simplex table, you can see the unit matrix relationship. I like to highlight that area, right? We call that the unit matrix relationship. ඕනම සරලා වගුවක මෙන්න මේ රිලේෂන්ෂිප් එක දකින්න පුළුවන්. දැන් සමහර විට අපිට incomplete table එකක් දෙලා දැන් මේ format එකකම විදිහට ගන්න අහලා තියෙන්නේ. They ask the same type of question maybe so many years. Right? Sometimes we can create the question given the incomplete table and ask to complete. සමහර මොඩල් එක දීලා අපිට දෙනවා incomplete table එකක්. දීලා කියනවා මේක complete කරන්න. අන්න ඒකට මෙන්න මේ relationship is really important. What is the relationship we call unit matrix relationship? ඒකක න්‍යාස සම්බන්ධතාවය. But ඒකක න්‍යාස සම්බන්ධතාවය කියන්නේ. Now you can see first basic variable S1 and the particular variable column S1. The intercepting point should be the 1. Here you can see that point is the value is 1. The intercepting point. Compare the second S2 with the S2 column, right? You can see the 1 again. Compare the S3, slack 3 and the slack 3 column. You can see the value is 1. The rest of the figures are the 0. That's we call unit matrix relationship. Make ඕනම simplex table එක දකින්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන තියෙන variable එකත් එක්ක ඒක slack වෙන්නම අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Distance variable එකක් තිබ්බ කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒකත් එක්ක distance variable එකයි මෙතන distance එකයි ඡේදනය වෙන තැන should be the 1. Rest of the figures should be the 0. I mean the initial solution, right? No other any solution, not initial. Any table. This is first table, final table also you can see that one. We call that unit matrix relationship. ඒකක න්‍යාස සම්බන්ධතාවය. Right? ඒකත් පොඩ්ඩක් මතක තියාගන්න in additionally, right? It's not necessary for that answer, but in addition. Okay, now we enter all the constraints. Then after that, you need to go to the rest of the calculations. I mean that figures. We should get the ZJ value. ZJ value. Then after that, we should calculate the CJ minus HJ. CJ minus ZJ. Should I do nothing? Only we need to get these two rows values. How to get the ZJ? Here in front of the S3, I think you should know that CB value is 0, right? you can get from the objective function 0 here, or either particular the column, the Cj value. Now, how to calculate the Zj? Cb value multiplied by the relevant column value separately and get the total. 0 into 100,000, 0 into 8,000, 0 into 1,000. All together, we should get the answer is 0. If you multiply by using 0, that all the answers will be 0. So, we කරන්න ඕන CB value එකෙන් අදාළ column එකේ values වෙනම වැඩි කරලා එකතු කරලා ගන්න. How to calculate the x1 column? 0 into 100 plus 0 into 7 plus 0 into 1. 0 වලින් වැඩි වෙන නිසා මේක වැඩි කරපයින් අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. All the figures become 0. While all the big values become the 0, the CB values are the 0. නමුත් ඉස්සරහට යනකොට table දෙවෙනි table එක හදනකොට මේ 0 එක වෙනුවට වෙන value එකක් එනවා CB වලට. එතකොට මෙතන අගන්නේ initial solution එකේ normally we can get the 0 for the less than equal type constraint. Less than equal type constraint එකට විතරයි මේ 0 එකෙන් නැත්නම් අනිත් වගේ CB value එක වෙන විචලයක් අපිට ගන්න වෙනවා. m value ගන්න වෙනවා. ඒක තාම කතා කරේ නැහැ. Then after that, you can just subtract Cj minus Zj. Cj top of the each column. Don't take the figure for the solution column. You can't get it. You should start from the variable columns. 30 minus 0. Here the Cj minus Zj is 30. One of the students, your mic unmute. Please mute your mic. Right. Then here 40 minus 0, 40. Then 20 minus 0, x3 column should be the 20. Then 0 minus 0, the next slack one should be 0. The next one also 0. The Cj minus Zj. Cj top of the each column. Subtract, just now calculate the Zj. Then these are the figures, you can get it. Now question asks, develop the first table, now we complete. Then question asks, find the pivot element. Pivot element. Actually, after we develop the first table, the question asked the first table, first initial solution, now we already completed, right? Then if you want to identify the pivot element, first we should ask one question. The solution is optimal. අපි මේක හැදුවට පස්සේ අපි අහන question එකක් මේක optimal ද කියලා. How can ask this question? We need to check Cj minus Zj row values. Cj minus Zj all the values become 0 and minus. Your answer is optimal. එහෙම question එකක් මේක ඇහුවොත් ඔයාලා දැනගන්න how can make the answer. Cj minus Zj, all the values become 0 and minus, your answer is optimal. But according to this solution, I mean the first table, you can see plus value 30, 40, 20 likewise. Therefore, solution is not optimal. If the solution not optimal, we should identify the entering variable. How to identify the entering variable? Therefore, we should decide the pivot column. How to identify the pivot column? Compare the positive value, select the highest one. The highest positive value column we call pivot column. Now you can say here this particular column we call the pivot column. Pivot column. Right? That's a pivot column. How get it? Compare the Cj minus Zj plus value, select the highest one. Why we select the highest value? Meaning is that contribution to the profit. We need to maximize profit, then we should select the highest contribution variable. Actually, the pivot column represents the entering variable. If the question asks to identify the entering variable, remember the entering variable is, here the entering variable is, I'll have to just mark additionally, right? Entering variable we can identify as x2. Here the pivot column, you can say entering variable is x2. We call the entering variable. In addition, but every time you can't expect that ask the same question, right? But you should know that. Now we call this an entering variable. Just I like to say, you can write the correct term, entering variable. We call in Sinhala pravesa vichali. එයා තමයි අලුතෙන් විසඳුමට යන්නේ. දැන් තියෙන තුන් දෙනා S1 S2 S3 slack තුන අපි අහනවා ප්‍රශස්තද කියලා. ඒතර අපිට දෙන උත්තරේ නැත. මොකද Cgemini set J not all the figures 0 and minus. We have plus value. Then compare the Cgemini set J plus value. We select the highest one as a pivot column. Pivot column represent the entering variable. දැන් අපි අලුතෙන් කෙනෙක් හඳුනාගත්තා. තියෙන අය ප්‍රශස්ත නැති නිසා. දැන් බලන්න කවුද තියෙන අයගේ ඉවත් කරන්නේ. The next step we should identify the pivot row. How to identify the pivot row? The solution figures, these are the figures. We should divide it by using pivot column values. මෙන්න මේ solution එකේ තියෙන අගයන් ටික pivot column වලින් වෙන වෙනම බෙදන්න. Right? I will do the calculations somewhere, right? Here that, okay, I can do here. The pivot solution column එක තමයි බෙදන්නේ මේ pivot column එකේ values වල. ඒතකොට solution එකේ එන්නේ මෙතන HT අපි ගත්තේ that 100,000. මම මෙතන ගන්නන්නේ that ඊට මදි වෙයි. Okay, here I can just write down 100,000. Sorry. Divided by බෙදන්න ඕන in the pivot column make a value in 120. I take the another color much better, right? Do color. Then you can get the answer. Then second 8,000 divided by 10. 8,000 divided by 10. The next 1,000, T means 1,000 divided by 1. Let me know the figures after divided by 100,000 divided by 120. 100,000 divided by 120, answer is 833. Here the answer is 833. Right? Then 800 divided by 10, answer is 800. 1,000 divided by 1, answer is 1,000. Then you remember that first identify the pivot column. Then we should identify the pivot row. How to identify the pivot row? Solution values divided by the pivot column values. 100,000 divided by 120, 8,000 divided by 10, 1,000 divided by 1. You can get the ratio 833, 800, 1,000. Then compare all the three ratios. Select the least one. The least one is a pivot row. Actually, you need to say here pivot row. The second row is become the pivot row. I use that PR. Pivot row. Right? Here the pivot row. The pivot row represents the leave-in variable. Which one is leave-in? The variable S2 is leave-in. Right? S2 we can say the leave-in variable. බලන්න දැන් කලින් අපි හඳුනගත්ත entering එක එයා ඇතුළත් වෙනකොට කවුද ඉවත් යන්නේ? S2 ඉවත් වෙනවා. slack 2 ඉවත් වෙනවා. එයාට අපි කියන leave in variable. leave in variable. Right? Then pivot column and pivot row. මේ pivot column එකයි මේ pivot row එකයි ඡේදනය වෙන තැන ආගේ තමයි ප්‍රශ්නෙන් අපෙන් අහන pivot element එක එන්නේ. If you are going to the pivot column likewise, if you come to the pivot row likewise, the intercepting point value is a 10. The intercepting point value you can see here. 10. This value we call the pivot element. Pivot element. Right? And to the arrow, this is a pivot element. Now we complete. You understood? Sorry for that, the space is not enough for me. That the reason, just I use some code symbols, but you can see that real figures top of that. මෙතනදී අපි අඳුනගත්තා pivot column එකකින් entering variable එක, pivot row එකකින් leaving variable එක. ඒ දෙන්නගේ ඡේදනය වෙන තැන ආගේ pivot element. Right? Question එක අහන්නේ pivot element අගේ නේද? ඒක අපි ලියන්න ඕන 10. Find the pivot element, value is 10. You can get the 2 marks. Right? Okay, then let's go to the next question. Any difficulties, any questions you have, any clarifications? Nahari මේ දක්වා සාකච්ඡා කරපු කොටසේ ගැටලු තියෙනවද ප්‍රශ්න? ඔයාලට තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන්. මේ මට්ටම දක්වා සාකච්ඡා කරපු කොටසට දාන්න. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, good. Let's go to that next one. What is the optimal solution? Now, based on the given table, now the given final table, the final simplex table for the above problem is given below. S1, S2 and S3 relates to preparation of, is a question, actually, I didn't consider earlier, the preparation cost is given the S1, right? Man days of the S2 and the land areas S3. I think we got correctly, no? We got the first 100,000 preparation cost, then 8,000 man days and the maybe land area purchase last. Then our answer that our sequence and the given table sequence are also correct. We didn't read this one earlier. I think now you can get idea. Before you develop the model, just read all the questions, then you can get some idea how can develop the model according to that particular sequence. The sequence actually not necessary, but anyway, here the X1, I said the X1 is a purchase or something like that. That's somewhat our answer is wrong. According to our definition, we should consider, but either if you want to consider about the given table, without changing anything, better to develop the constraint according to that sequence. Then our one and the table, both matching. Okay, now based on the final table, you can see the basic variable is given. You can see the CB and CJ, right? That column not include here, don't worry, basic. Quantity means solution, remember that, quantity means solution. The rest of the variable 3 columns, distance variable, after the slack variable. Now question asked to identify the optimum solution. Okay, you can just write down optimum solution X1 equal 250. x2 equal 625. Right? Up x1 in the x2 in but you can't see in here the addition variable x3. And basic x3 pain have a slack 3 no. Abada S3 pain x3 make a what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? I'm making it deciding on a table now. Right? I can say if you require that I'll go to the next table, next page, the optimum solution. We need to write down x1 equal, what's the figure we can see that? X1 equal 250, x2 625. 250. X2 625. We have to say here x2 equal. Right? Then you can't see the x3 under this basis column, but anyway, you need to write down the x3. What is the value? Can you say the answer? The basis column, you can't see the decision variable x3 here. You can't see decision variable x3. Then what's the value for the under the optimum solution? Because we try to find the decision variable values. Okay, correct that one is from just chat with me. The value is 0. That's fine, correct. Remember that if the question asks to identify the optimal solution, you need to give the special decision variable values. If you can see the variable, straightforward, you can give the figures. You can't see the decision variable, then you can say the 0. Don't say the S3 figure, it's not necessary. Right? The question asks optimal solution. Optimal solution means basically we should identify the decision variable values and also ZJ value 32,500. ZJ represent total profit. That one essential. ZJ equal 32,500. Basically, you need to represent these figures as optimal solution. If the question asks the remaining resources of the third constraint, right? I asked that one question, what are the remaining resources? If you want to identify the remaining resources, go to the basic variable. Let's see what are the slack variable here. We can see the S3 slack 3, 125. Then if the question asks the remaining resources, you can say, I have to interpret remaining resources. Actually, if I'm going to make the answer, just not only for the given question, we should think about in the future that we have to get another questions as well. If the question asks the remaining resources, you can say that we have the resources. Slack 1, you can say answer 0. We don't have the x1 value. S2 equals 0. But we can see the x3 value. equal maybe 120. You know, let's see that. Yes, 125. That's the remaining resource amount. If the question asks the shadow prices, how can I identify? Let's see here. What is the optimum solution? Interpret the highest. Second question asks. Now we complete the first question, and in addition, I just explained about the remaining resources. Question not asked, but anyway, you know that how to identify the remaining resources. The slack variable represent value in the basis column. We call the remaining resources. That S1, S2 you can't see. Therefore, you should say the 0. It means the all resources are fully utilized. If the question asks what are the resources fully utilized, S1 and S2 fully utilized. If the question asks what are the remaining, the S3 is remaining 125. Right? Then let's go to the next question. Next question is interpret shadow price of the preparation cost and the man days of work. Actually, the S1 preparation, X2 man days, according to our sequence. Now you can see the figures, slack 1 and slack 2 column. The CGM and ZJ have values. Minus 0.125. Minus 2.5. After you got the final solution, why we said the final solution? Now you can observe CGM and ZJ all values 0 and minus. 0, 0, then 3 values minus, then after that again 0. All the values become 0 and minus, your solution is optimal. If the solution not optimal at that time, CJ minus ZJ row have values under the slack variable. This particular value represent, remember the slack variable only, right? Slack variable value represent shadow prices. Then you can go to CJ and ZJ row. You can see slack variable X1 column and S2. But S3 you can't see the shadow price because remember the reason behind that. S3 resources are remaining. The all resources are not fully utilized. 125 remaining. Then no need to buy additional resource from the outside supply. But S1, S2 resources are fully utilized. If you want to buy from the outside supply, how much we need to pay for them? We should pay for them 0.125 for the X1, for the X2, 2.5 rupees, 2 rupees and 50 cents likewise. That's we call the shadow price. Normally, the most important definition I given earlier, the shadow price means 1 unit of resource, how much contribute to the profit. Now you can interpret shadow price. Question asks, shadow prices. You can say S1 may be the preparation cost. Let's say the S1, you can just write down the preparation cost. I'll give the definition like this. Its answer is 0 without minus, right? Don't take the minus. 1, 2, 5. And S2, slack 2 equal without minus 2.5 rupees. 2 rupees and 50 cents. These are the shadow prices. But S3, you don't have the shadow price. Then question not asked that if the question asked all the slack variable, you can put the 0. But especially this question asked about shadow price, only the preparation cost and the man days. Therefore, you can just go to the particular slack variable columns and consider CJ and ZJ row. You can see the figures. Without minus 0.125, 2.5. How to interpret? The shadow price means 1 unit of research, how much contribute to the profit? How much contribute to the profit? The S1 represent preparation cost. the 1 rupee as a preparation cost contribute to the profit 0.25, 125. You can define likewise. How to define? One rupee of preparation cost. Cost contribution to the profit rupees 0.125. That's the way you should define the S1 shadow price. Right? Then you can define the second one is 1 rupee. Sorry, 1 man days, no? Not rupee, the man days. Contribution to the profit. Rupees 2.5. Right, that's the way we should define slack paid, shadow prices. Then construct the dual problem, find the optimum values of the dual, find the range within the which the production of corn can be changed without affecting the optimum solution. Find the range with the production of corn can be changed without affecting the optimal solution. Okay, here question asked to calculate the change of the production of corn can be changed. Find the range within which the production of corn. The production of corn is not the constraint. No? The question somewhat vague. Actually, reason behind that is straightforward, not ask change of the objective function coefficient. I think question asked change of the objective function coefficient. Right, find the range. Range within which the production of corn can be changed without affecting the optimum solution. This question is sensitivity analysis question. I did the sensitivity analysis. Sensitivity analysis means that after we got the answer, sometime we can see some changes. What are the changes we can see? Change of the objective function coefficient value. We should consider basic and non-basic variable. Change of the constraint right-hand side value. Change of the constraint technical coefficient value. Adding new constraint, removing constraint, adding new distance variable, removing distance variable. Likewise, there are so many changes. Then if we have some changes, we don't like to start from the beginning. We are going to do some adjustment for the existing solution. We can get the new solution. අපි යම් වෙනසක් වුණොත් නැවත මුලින් ඉඳලා ගාන හදන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. තියෙන එකට යම් ගැළපීම් කරලා අපි හොයාගන්න අලුත් විසඳුම ඇත්තටම අලුත් විසඳුමට වැඩි අපි හොයාගන්නේ රේන්ජ් එකක් විතරයි. මොකද අපිට විසඳුම කියන එක පාට හොයාගන්න බෑ ඇත්තටම ටිකක් සංකීර්ණයි. ඒ නිසා අපි රේන්ජ් එක හොයාගන්න. මෙතනදී ක්වෙස්චන් එකෙන් අහන්නේ find the range within which the production of corn can be changed. මේ corn කියන එක අපි ගත්තේ මොකක් විදිහටද? variable එක. corn කියන එක අපි අරන් තියෙන මම හිතන්නේ පළවෙනි product එකනේ. should be the x1. Yes, corn is given the first. x1. The x1 එකේ දැනට තියෙන objective function coefficient තමයි 30. මේ 30 වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන් range එක අහනවා without affecting the current solution. දැනට තියෙන විසඳුමට affecting the optimum solution. Optimum කියන්නේ දැනට තියෙන solution එකට බලපෑමක් නොමැතිව corn වල ලාභය වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන් range එක අහන්න. දැනට තියෙන්නේ 30. ඒතර x1 කියන එක බලන්න ඕනේ ඉස්සෙල්ලාම අපි distance variable x1, this particular variable basic variable or non-basic variable. මොකද change of the objective function coefficient කියන එක අපි consider කරනවා දෙආකාරයකට. Change of the objective function coefficient basic variable, and also we can consider it as a non-basic variable. මොකද ඔයාලගේ අදහස x1 basic variable එකද non-basic එකද? x1 කියන decision variable. So you should say using this final table, basic the non-basic. Yes, I got that. It's a basic, correct. How we decide? You can see the x1 in the basis column. The first variable is x1, it's basic. If I ask a question, x3 is the basic or non-basic? X3 non-basic. You can't see the basic variable column, decision variable x3. මේ decision variable x3 කියන එක දකින්න නෑ මේකේ. slack 3 ඉන්නවා. එයා basic එකක් වෙලා තියෙන නමුත් මේ decision variable x3 මේකේ නෑ. ඒ නිසා එයා non basic. ඒතර අනිත් දෙක x1 x2 මේකේ තියෙන නිසා එයා basic. ඒතර basic variable එකක option value change එකයි අපි දැන් කතා කරන්න යන්නේ. ඒක කතා කරන්නේ අපි use කරන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා අපි ගන්න ඕන s1 එකේ මේ values ටික 0 1 0 minus 1.625 0.06 මේ values ටික ඔක්කොම ගන්න. ඊට පස්සේ ගන්න ඕනේ cj minus sj values ටික. cj minus sj values ටික x1 row value එකකින් බෙදන්න ඕන. බෙදලා identify කරගන්න ඕනේ ratios. method එක කියන්නම් බලන්න ඔයාලා හදන්න. මොකද අපි කරන්න ඕන? දැන් we are going to talk about මම අලුත් page එකට යන්න. We are going to talk about change of the x1 objective function coefficient. x1 objective function coefficient. මේක තමයි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේකේ අමාරුම කොටස. But it's not difficult that already given the answer. Objective function coefficient. Right? The existing value is, you can see 30. මේක තමයි දැන්ට තියෙනාගේ. මෙයා වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන් පරාසය අහන්නේ. පවතින විසඳුමට ප්‍රාස විසඳුම බලපෑමක් නොමැතිව. මුලින්ම හඳුනා ගන්න ඕනේ ඒතර x1 කියලා කියන්නේ basic variable. Basic variable. Right. The basic variable එක optional change වීම අපි ගන්නෙ cj minus hj අපි බෙදන්න ඕන basic variable එකේ row value වලින් row එකේ values CJ minus ZJ you can take from the given final table 0, 0, minus 875. It is ඔක්කොම ගන්න. You can do the calculation. Please keep the gap. 0.875. Maybe the minus, no? Let's see that correct symbol, right? Minus, it will take minus ඔක්කොම. අන්තිම විතරක් 0. ඊළඟට එන්නේ minus 0.125. අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා ගත්තනේ slack වලට, sorry, shadow price වලට. ඒක නිසා මට මතකයි minus again 0.25. then last one 0. මේ ටික එන්නේ මේ CJ minus ZJ එකේ. Right. Then ඒ වගේම ගන්න relevant x1 row එකේ values ටික. x1 row එකේ. මෙතන x1 row එකේ 1 0 minus 1 625. That's the easiest method actually I use. We should divide it by, right? Separate divided by. මේ අගයන් වෙන වෙනම බෙදන්න. x1 වල row values වලින්. අපි ගන්නෙ පළවෙනි එකේ 1 0 ඊළඟට minus එකක් තිබ්බනේ minus 0.1 the 1 point තිබ්බේ minus 1.625 according to my memory. Right. Then බලන්න ඊළඟට yes 0.0625 තියෙනවා again එක plus value එකක් මම හිතන්නේ මෙයා මට ඒවල තියෙනවා කෙනෙක් බලමු ඒක හරිද කියලා 0.0625 ඒවල තියෙන දෙනම් plus එක ඊළඟට තියෙන්නේ again minus 0.75. Last එක 0. Then you can do the simplify. Then මේක සුළු කරන්න. බෙදලා බලන්න. Right? අපිට එන්නේ 1 0 minus 125 is plus 0.0625. Then minus 75 0. Procedure minus ZJ divided by the x1 row values. බෙදලා උත්තරේ ගන්න. මට කියන්න පුළුවන් උත්තර ටික හදලා යවන්න එක්කෙනෙක් බලන්න. ඒක මම මේක theory චුට්ටක් පැහැදිලි කරන්නම්. I will explain the theory behind that. මේක යට තියෙන theory මොකක්ද කියලා බලමු චුට්ටක්. Please let me know the figures. ඔය වල තියෙන උත්තර ටික අපි එක සටහන් කරගමු. පළවෙනි එකේ එන්නේ 0 කියලා දාලා තියෙනවා. බෙදපුවාම එන උත්තර ටික මම ලියනවා 0. Then you can check your answer is correct or not, right? And plus value එකක් එන්නේ 538. 538.46. ඊළඟට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ -2. Then
0, 3.
yeah, 3.33, no? The last one should be the 0, no? Okay. These are the figures. I don't know if it's
0.
correct or wrong, but anyway, I got it that. Now, I'll let just explain the theory behind that. Here is another example, right? Change of the basic objective function coefficient. I already explained this theory. We need to take the particular row values and Cj minus Hj, Cj minus Hj divided by row value. Then apply these two rules. The least negative value, after you get the solution figures, you should select the least negative. Least negative value is how much profit x2 could decrease without changing the solution. Negative decrease. The least positive is answer how much profit increase without changing solution. අපි අඳුන ගන්න ඕන least negative and least positive. What's the least negative? The negative just one more. This least positive. This figure. Right? Then consider the existing coefficient value is 30. Least negative should be subtract. Subtract -2. We should plus 3.33. Then you can get the range from 28 to 33.33. In between that range, change of the objective function coefficient x1 is not affected to the optimum solution. අපි කියන්න ඕන දැනට තියෙන 30 තමයි objective function coefficient එක. මේ 30 28 ඉඳලා 33 දක්වා පරාසය තුල වෙනස් වුණාට පවතින විසඳුමට බලපෑමක් නැහැ. රේන්ජ් එක තමයි 28 සිට from 28 to 33.33. මේ රේන්ජ් එක තුල වෙනස් වුණා කියලා පවතින optimum solution එකට බලපෑමක් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා that we're not going to make the answer for the sensitive questions. Better to get the correct format. Without you can't get the mark. It's very sensitive means that you know that, right? Because we should identify the first variable basic or non-basic. If the non-basic variable totally different format, the calculation we should do to get the answer. අපි non-basic එකට නම් ඊට වඩා වෙනස් විදිහකට තමයි answer එක ගන්නෙ. Basic එකේදී අපි Cj minus Hj අරගෙන basic variable එකේ row values වලින් බෙදලා least positive least negative select කරලා existing එකට ගැලපීමක් කරලා තමයි බලන්නේ කොහොමද range එක පවතින්නේ කියන එක. I think better to you can just select the decision variable x2 and do the calculation and let's see that how the range, right? ඉතින් මේක අපිට ඕනනම් Excel solve එකට දාලා computer based උත්තරේ ගන්න පුළුවන්. Later, if I have time, then I'll explain that. But in your question paper, not given the computer-based answer, no, right? If you want, you can see that same answer. We can get it using the computer software, right? Excel solver. Anyway, that now we complete that one. Any questions? At least you can just try to practice according to that. Remember, for the basic variable, if the x1 is a basic, we use this process to get the answer. Assume the x1 is a non-basic, this format is not suitable. Right? I will explain that non-basic, total difference. Let's see that my previous example, the sensory analysis simplex method. Based on these are the changes we can see, change of the objective function coefficient. We should talk about non-basic separately, basic objective function separately. Then after that, change of the resource side, hand side, change of the constraint technical cost. Manually කරන්න බෑ. It's very difficult task. It's a competitive, complicated. මොකද මේ table එකක් සම්පූර්ණ අනිත් පැත්ත ගහලා අපිට මේ ඊළඟ විසඳුම හොයාගන්න බෑ. Graphical method so easy. That's the most difficult part under the linear programming, right? However, somewhat we can identify the range values. That's only the things we can see here. We talk about the non-basic objective function coefficient. මෙතන මම කතා කරන්නේ මුලින්ම non-basic. ඒතර අපි model එක දීලා තිනවා. We can see the model and we can give the final table. Final table also given. Right, then we talk about the non-basic. What's a variable? Non-basic. Can you say straightforward? What is a non-basic variable? Compare the two distance variable x1, x2. Take on this solution. මොකද non-basic එක වෙන්නේ මෙතන? Sorry? Non-basic variable එක වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද මේ table එකේ? Yes.
x1
x1. Reason එක basis column එකේ x1 නැහැ. Now, method in other එයාගේ coefficient එක 50. එයා වෙනස් වෙයි පරාසය හුවොත්. If the question asks non-basic objective function coefficient is 50, it change which range without affecting the x in solution. අපි ඒකත් මෙතනින් පොඩ්ඩක් ඉගෙන ගමු. නැත්නම් එහෙම ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවොත් ඔයාලා උත්තර දෙන්න ඉතින් දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒකයි පේපර් කරලම හරියන්නේ තියරි ටිකක් දැනගන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් හැම පැත්තම ආවත් නෙවෙයි. Right, එතකොට මෙතනදී is so easy actually. If the change of the non-basic variable objective function, දැන් බලන්න මේ x1 coefficient එක change වුණාම බලපාන්නේ කොහෙටද? Zj වලට විතරයි. බලන්න x2 කියන්නේ basic variable එක. අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා කතා කරපු එක. එයාගේ දැන්ට coefficient එක 120 තියෙනවා. එයා වෙනස් වුණොත් ඒක CB එකට බලපාන. CB එක වෙනස් වුණොත් Zj values වෙනස් වෙනවා. Zj වෙනස් වුණොත් Cj minus h වෙනස් වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා basic එකේ change එක බොහෝ තැන් වලට බලපාන. Change of the basic variable affect to so many places. Change of the non-basic, මොකද මෙයා CB එකේ නැහැ. මෙයා basic එකේ තියෙන විචල් වල විතරයි CB තියෙන්නේ. මෙයා non-basic වල වෙනහම මෙතන 50 එන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේ 50 change වීම බලපාන්නේ Zj වලට විතරයි. Assume the 50 become 60. How to calculate Cj minus Zj? 60 minus 60, answer 0. Here the answer 0 means exists in same solution. මෙතන 0 වුණා කියලා මේ solution එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒත් optimal. මොකද minus and 0 නේ බලන්න. Right? හැබැයි මෙයා 70 වුණොත් the x1 become the 70 minus 60. What happened? 10 plus 10 එනවා. and plus 10 එනොත් the existing solution is not optimal. මේක optimal වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් අපෙන් අහන්නේ මෙයා වෙනස් වෙයගේ පරාසය අහනවා. The question asks the S1 coefficient change within which range without affecting the existing solution. The existing solution x1 0, x2 20, Zj 2400. Easiest way to get the answer, the x1 coefficient can vary. Here you can see that without affecting the solution, you can increase the value of Cj. Cj can x1 එකේ මේ coefficient එක up to the Zj value. මේ දැන්ට තියෙන 50 වැඩි කරගන්න පුළුවන් Zj 60 දක්වා. වැඩිම යන්න පුළුවන් 60ට විතරයි. 60ට ගියොත් මෙයා බිඳුව වෙනවා. ඒ නිසා වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි මෙයා 70 වුණොත් මෙයා ධන 10ක් වෙනවා. මෙයා 80 වුණොත් මෙතන ධන 20ක් වෙනවා. එතකොට solution එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. මේක optimum වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මෙයා වැඩි කරන්න පුළුවන් කොච්චරද? Cj up to the Zj. මෙයා කොච්චර අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? You can decrease the value Cj up to the negative infinity. Remember that we can reduce this figure until the negative infinity. The range is from negative infinity to 60. From negative infinity to 60. And this is non-basic. Right? Non-basic එක objective function coefficient එක change වීමේ පරාසය හොයාගන්න. Our question asks to change of the basic variable. The question not send the non-basic or basic, we should identify based on the variables in the basis column. You understood? The next paper question, maybe they ask about non-basic. Right? If the question asks non-basic, actually so easy. Compare the basic variable objective function coefficient. Non-basic, just get the existing coefficient value. You can increase until the Zj. You can decrease until the negative infinity. It's mean from negative infinity to Zj value. Change of the non-basic objective function coefficient not affect to the current solution, existing solution. You understood? Okay, I think exam question is we are not find the solution for the two questions, 3 and 4th. Construct dual problem. Find optimal values for the dual. I will explain later. This one and 22 exam paper. Right? Okay, I think if possible that I have some other papers as well. Let's see that 21, then 2016 available, 20 also available. You try to do yourself this one. I don't let make the answer now. Just take the image if you don't have the paper. Here the question number 1, 2020. විශ්ව paper එකේ පළවෙනි එක මේක තනියම හදන්න බලන්න. Right? Formulate the linear programming model. ඒකෙත් අර කලින් වගේම x1 x2 x3 කියලා දීලාම තියෙනවා. ABC පිළිවෙලින් ගන්න කියලා. ඉතින් මෙහෙම කිව්වහම nothing actually, because already know that 3 additions variable. No? Prepare the first simplex table. Pivot column. If the pivot column is selected x2, find the pivot element. අන්නේගේ pivot column එක ගැනත් කියලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඉස්සෙල්ලා කියන pivot column අහලා තිබුණ නැහැ. ඒතර ඔයාලා pivot column එක දැන් ඉගෙන ගත්තා. කොහොමද pivot column එක හොයන්නේ, pivot row එක හොයන්නේ. ඒ දෙන්න ඡේදනය වෙන තමයි pivot element එකෙන්. තව එකක් තියෙනවා row element කියලා. අපි ඒකට ගියේ නැහැ තාම. row element කියන එක තා චුට්ටක් ඊළඟ table එකට යන්න ඕනේ. ඒක දැන් අමතක කරන්න. ඒක අහන එකක් නෙවෙයි. අපි බලමු මේ අවශ්‍ය නැ එකක් කතා කරමු. Right? Then find a simplex table. That problem is given below. තර අපිට අර කලින් වගේම table එකේ answer එක දීලා තිනවා final table එක. අපෙන් අහනවා what is the optimum solution? Interpret shadow prices. Same questions. Divide dual. Find the dual optimum values of the dual variables. Find the range with the price of the sandwich A can be changed. And මේ question එකට ටිකක් හොඳට අහලා තිනවා. Price of the sandwiches A can be changed without affecting the optimum solution. ඉස්සෙල්ලකේ මට චුට්ටක් හිතන්න උනා එකපාරටම මේ change එක මොකක් ගැන දාන්න. මොකද changes තියෙනවනේ. Right hand side වල changes තියෙනවා. Objective function coefficient changes තියෙනවා. Technical coefficient value changes තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේකේ අපි හැබැයි product එක දුන්න නිසා අපි ඒක දැනගන්න objective function එකේ change වෙන්නේ කියන එක. ඒ වගේම sandwiches කියන එකත් කියලාම තියෙනවා. Price of කියලා කියනවා. එතකොට price එක තමයි profit එකට බලපෑම් කරන්නේ. ඒ නිසා කෙලින්ම අහන්නේ change of the objective function coefficient. Right? ඉතින් අපේ මේක වලට තනියම ලකුණු 20ම ගන්න හදන්න පුළුවන් subject to the 3 and 4. Still I am not talk about. Next time I like to explain how to get the answer, how to convert as a dual form, how to get dual variables values. Just 1 mark only dual variables. That important thing is how to convert as a dual problem. Based on the original model, we need to convert as a dual. මම ඒක පැහැදිලි කරන්න I dual කරන්නේ reason එක මොකක්ද ඒ ඔක්කොමත් එක්ක. Right? I think better to do the 2020 as homework. If you have difficulties, next time we can discuss. Then after that, I think we can complete the first question. Then we can go to the rest of the topics. I mean the questions. The second question regarding the network model. Likewise, we can consider the transportation, right? Okay, we will consider about the rest of the question. I think if possible to another 2-3 weeks, we can do the several topics, and just enough that after that you can go to the exam without any difficulties, because it's so easy that your paper also may be 2023, also very similar questions we can predict. I think for the today now enough, then thank you all of you. Good night. It's possible that you can ask from Mr. Saman. He is a coordinator, that he will, you can get it from him, right?